Good morning, everyone. I am Pranali, your host for today. I welcome each and everyone for today's Sadgun Meet. This is our 275th virtual webinar. Topic for today is Continual Improvement, a powerful intent of system implementation, which shall be taken by Dr. Sanjeevani Gogavle. Agenda for the Sadgun Meet, particulars, virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of Deti chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Dr. Sanjeevani Gogavle, question and answer session, closing session. Dr. Sundar Kataria, Chairman and Managing Director of ICS Group Companies, Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. Academic qualification, Mechanical Engineer in Honorary Doctorate, Business Management, Experience, Nuclear RAP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawatbhatta, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and Gas EIN. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay High since its inception. DNV. He was the head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS. He is a founder of first Indian conformity assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of a total quality solution under single umbrella with a wide spectrum of services. Achievements and awards. Lifetime Achievement Award of NICE Corcon received several national and international awards. Now I request Dr. Sundar Kataria sir to virtually inaugurate today's session.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of the keynote speaker. Dr. Sanjeevani Gogavle, designation and organization, senior trainer and consultant at Zen International Systems, academic qualification, Bachelor of Engineering from College of Engineering, Pune University, Instrumentation and Control Engineering, PhD from University of Pune, IQRS, International Quality Rating Systems from Australia, Master of Management Science from Pune University, area of specialization and experience, IRCA certified LA trainer for various management systems, registered auditor and trainer for quality, environment and safety, master trainer for Z and assessor for Z, green productivity specialist and cyber security, digitization and industry 4.0 circular economy trainer, 35 years in certification field, patented designs developed. Welcome, Dr. Sanjeevani ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. एक minute. I'm going to share my screen. I have the sharing rights, right? Is my screen visible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you and welcome all with wonderful prayers. I'm sure you must be positively charged. Now we are getting ready for equally motivating topic. Continual improvement, a powerful intent of the system implementation. Invariably, as I was introduced, I spent major career of my life in certification as a trainer, consultant, assessor. And I realized that these certifications are getting more importance over the system implementation. So probably it's a time to introspect and think aloud. And that is why when I was requested by this team to interact and connect with the teams like you, I thought I'll do a loud thinking and get you all aligned to continual improvement, the prime intent of the system implementation. So welcome, and I'll request you all to put on your thinking caps so that I would like to have a proper participative interactive session. Well, team, we all are well aware that PDCA or the Deming cycle is the foundation for all management systems. 32 management system standards are aligned to PDCA as one of the standard pillar for the system development. In fact, all these systems talk about three common approaches for system implementation. One is, of course, the continual improvement using PDCA, plan, do, check, and act. Second is a process approach. No matter whether you are in quality, environment, or safety, you're bound to follow the process approach. Third is risk-based thinking. And obviously, when we are talking about risk-based thinking, we are focusing on the dynamics. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, thank you, dear. So we are talking about the interrelationship, business as a process, and then the sub-process which are critical and how they are interacting with each other, and how the intent of the system is getting implemented through a proper process design. The third one is risk-based thinking, where we are talking about the uncertainties and the dynamics. COVID has taught us a most unforgettable lesson. All of us who are enjoying small or big businesses have to redesign our businesses and look at the risk and opportunities and the dynamics. Basically, management of change or MOC came so loud, clear, and evident that was really a good learning. There are a lot of case studies, and I'm sure if you Google out, you will get a couple of them where they have achieved a turnaround during COVID period using the technology. Amul is a classical case study of it, and it's my favorite case study. When most of the dairy industries were closing, Amul could make a rocking profit of 32 crores. So this is something amazing. How they have achieved. Obviously, the top management was serious about the business. There was no tags attached to any certification, means it was not a compulsion. Or if at all you allow me to say, it was a compulsion for survival. But in general, most of our system implementation, there's no COVID or a threat of life. Top management definitely is concerned about their business. Certifying body and the auditors who come there representing a certifying body are also pretty trained, competent, and focused on their business. Employees indeed follow the protocols, and the regulators and the other authorities have their own roles to play. Customers have a lot of expectations in the whole protocol and their own agenda in this whole process. Suppliers follow their own interests. So with all these key stakeholders and the dynamics, the top boss has to align the system with the strategies based on the SWOT, strength, opportunity, weakness, threat, and the dynamics of the scenario. So if you just go through all management system standard, the clause 5.1, which is one of the common clause, it talks about a top management commitment. The top boss has to be committed, no matter whatever is the scenario, to run the business. The show must go on. Never give up. And secondly, it does not go on just like that. It should go on generating the profit, meeting the intent and the purpose of the business. How do they achieve it? Obviously, the strategy. So if this strategy, which is the prime driver, if it is not integrated with the system, then obviously system is dumped on you. System is need of a customer because they want you to do a business if you are certified, or it is a certifying body's representative coming and pursuing you, so you get certified. In any case, it is not your choice, it is out of compulsion. Anything which is done out of compulsion becomes an added burden. So the powerful tool which is meant for improvisation becomes a burdensome tool. I am sure those of you who are working in this field will agree to this. I'm reminded of a good old story of a father, son, and a donkey. If you try following your stakeholders, if you sit on the donkey, people will comment. If you hold the donkey on your shoulder, definitely they are going to comment. It is up to you. What is your convenience? If you think donkey is meant for carrying your weight, use it for that. If you try to tie it up and try to shoulder it just to please your stakeholders, you are not only compromising the benefit of the donkey, but also burdening yourself. So go back and look at your system. Are they becoming unwanted added burden? There's every chance that you tied up your system with the ropes and try to hold it with the stick to shoulder it. Please don't do that. It won't be as obvious as it is told in the story, but I have seen quite a few of the systems. Why do you use this format? Because the customer wants it. Why do you use it this way? Because the CB auditor has told. I mean, what are we doing? Is the system for us or is the system for them? Please think about it. And why do I say these things so bluntly on the platform of a certifying body? Because I trust ICS, I trust Mr. Kataria, who has been my ex-colleague. And I truly feel the intent of this whole learning is to have an introspection and to pick up something good to ultimately result into something good. So if I go for a recertification audit and after 3 years, I still see the organization goals are not met. The top boss has some reasons that they couldn't predict dynamics or couldn't get aligned to the dynamics. An individual is still struggling. Then introspection is a must. It's a time to look back and understand what went wrong. The common answers I get is, I don't get a proper MR. Management representative. They are in high demand and a very scarce commodity. Another funny input I get is, I don't get one who will manage the auditor. I mean, is the system meant for managing the auditors? Think about it. And then I ask this question, there is, meet the audit requirements. So do you want one person to be accountable for meeting the audit requirements? And there is no answer. These are very commonly repeated familiar statements. And I'm sure those of you who are working in the system will also see that single point accountability. I remember going to one bank, I won't name the name of the bank, and I saw that certificate hang on the wall, of course, like a wallpaper. And then
Ma'am, you're muted.
dear, I was really not muted, but anyways, thanks for reminding me.
Yes.
I'll share my screen again.
Yeah.
I thought I was talking too offensive, so I got muted. Hopefully not so, right? Anyways, guys, am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
And these are real life stories. I asked them that you are displaying a draft to be issued within 20 minutes. Those days there used to be drafts. And I'm waiting here for last half an hour. What is it? I was a little upset as a customer. And they say, ban raha hai, we are preparing for it. And I said, what you have displayed, that certificate and that objective, what it means. To my surprise, that lady said, wo ERP ka banda hai na, usse jaake pucho. It has nothing to do with us. It is somebody, one person who is handling the system. He should be able to answer you. And if we have this approach, that one person is answerable for system, then something is wrong. In 2015, when the system got revised and revamped, Technical Committee TC 176 was very clear and explicit. It should not be one person's accountability. The term MR was removed officially from the system. In 2026, the system is again getting a revisit or revision, and they have retained that change. However, old habits die hard. Till today, people have that passing on the blame game on, and they say this man is accountable for the system, as though it's none of my business. So please look at it. Are you implementing the system for improvement, which should be everybody's business, or for certification because your customer is pressurizing you, or for getting some refund for the government scheme? I don't know. Think a bit. If you allow me, I always try to compare quality with divinity, or the god or temple. Why people go to temple? Some of them go there because they get a prasad. Some of them go there because they want to avoid people sitting at home and challenging their emptiness. Some of them go there because they really genuinely want to do prayers. Same way, if you're getting a certificate because somebody is pressurizing you, you will get certificate definitely. If you're doing a certificate because you're getting a refund, you'll surely get a prasad or a refund. But if you're doing a certificate or a system for improvisation, you will get an improvisation. So if you're not sure why you're not getting the results, look back. Probably your intent need to be corrected. Go back and understand what is your aim. Right? So please remember, if you aim at improvisation, you will get improvisation. It has to work that way, no matter whatever is the dynamics. Provided you're involved, you're committed. Your system is aligned with the strategies, the dynamics. You're aiming for growth and development. And you're willing to combat the dynamics come what may. If you have that fortitude or the warrior spirit, no obstacle can be bigger than the system. A single person managing the auditor is a wasteful activity. Believe me, you don't have to manage anybody. Auditors are well trained. Top management managing a business is a clear divorce. You should not have such divorce. It creates only pressures. So the whole team should be there along with the system development and improvisation. Only then you will get the improvisation. In such scenario, employees are firefighting with the dynamics. And I've seen this many a time, especially when I started working with some small and micro enterprises. The boss says, should I do this inspection or handle the customers, or should I go and bring new business? It is very much your business. You go bring your business, but at the same time, see to it that something wrong is not happening down the line. So that vigilance, that involvement is a must. Otherwise, there is a problem and confusion, manipulation and management, which is not the intent of the system, even remotely. Any of the stakeholder in this process is defocused or confused. It's like the weakest link in the system implementation. You'll definitely get a deterioration, damage, and even a breakdown. A non-value added activities are unavoidable. So if you guys have already implemented a system, or if you wish to implement a system, go back first, fine-tune your intents. There's only one reason why you should be doing it is improvement. No other priority can be a priority. There is only one priority, one thing as a priority. There's nothing called second priority, right? After 40 years, I remember in 1986, we started implementing in Thermax. So 40 years are over. And virtually, I still remember in the early 90s doing the audits with DNV. When I look back, I came back to India after a couple of years and I see some of the organizations have closed their businesses. Some of them have said we don't trust certificate. And some of them are clearly saying that we don't trust our supplier's certification. We do our own second party audits. So this is something where the whole standardization is getting challenged. To my surprise, there are ads on Google certification at 3,000 to 5,000 rupees. I mean, this is something we are answerable for. We have deteriorated the whole scenario. And how? First, the top management not owning the commitment. Thinking MR, it is MR's role, let MR handle it. I have no time. It's your business, you should squeeze some time. It's a bold statement that the auditor should be doing. But unfortunately, there are very few auditors who can go against the top management or go to educate the top management. That's a better way of expressing it. So obviously, we are losing the intent. We are using a certificate as a support than the system implementation. I still remember when I was learning statistics, and one classical example they have said that the use of statistics should not be like how a drunken man uses a lamppost, not for the light, just for the support. The same way, if the system is not enlightening you, if the system is not giving an improvement roadmap, you are not able to get the benefit out of it. Even a pillar would have supported that. But there is a light. Each data gives you some story, some method, some roadmap. Otherwise, that is a one more waste. In that 8 waste of lean, we have added one more waste, that is a data waste. So don't have the wasteful data generated. The only way to get this meaningful is to reverse the top management apathy, educate them. And we as an auditor, we as an implementer, we as a consultant have a good chance to reach the top management. If you can do that, it's a great contribution to their business as well as to the nation building. Let's understand the fundamental. Why should we be doing it? I have taken one representative sample, 45001, which is latest in the family because the 26th version is yet to be released. And the 27K is not very familiarly known to everybody. So it says, what is a management system? It is a part of management system to deploy the policy. And what is a policy? It is intention and direction, formally expressed by the top boss. So the top boss is definitely traceable, accountable, and answerable for the directions being set. So logically, it should have a strategic alignment. It should have a proper objective setup, and it should have a proper commitment from the top. Along with that, it is not only top-driven alone and isolated floating there. It should be communicated and understood. So generally, people try to display it prominent places. And it should have a commitment for continual improvement. If somebody is writing it and signing on it, it is meaning. It is not a verbal, casual commitment. It is a clear intent. So how many of us, as an auditor, as a consultant, as a business owner, have that commitment? I've seen dozens of employees and a dozen of entrepreneurs who crib. This is a problem, that is a problem, and one more thing is a problem. But then look back. Are we not there to solve those problems? Are we not there to improvise it? I remember when I joined Thermax, young Enthu engineer wanted to do magics. And somebody came to me saying it's not working. And I felt so annoyed and angry with that. I said, what are you there for? If it is not working, make it working. You as an engineer should look into it and make it working. My boss just looked at me and said, Sanjeevani, relax. Life is not so easy. When he says it's not working, he means he has not understood how to mend it. You as a designer look into it, get it corrected, and make it so user-friendly that he should not come to you again saying it's not working. It was a great learning. It was a learning for me for rest of the life. Never in my life thereafter I cribbed, it's not working. It is a loud and clear message. If it is not working, it's a problem with me that I don't understand how to make it work. It's not a problem with the system, it is a problem with me. Have an introspection, correct it, and cherish the success. So, same thing applies now. If there are problems, there has to be. Challenge them. Challenge your hidden capacities to solve that. And cherish the success. But what we do, we are very intelligent. We go to the requirements of the standard for certification. We believe the documented information as a evidence of a work being done. So it's very easy to have a record generated. Most of the time the policy is written and the boss signs it without reading it. Because the policy is meant for the auditors and not for the system. And never for improvisation. That is the perception the bosses enjoy. But has any auditor has a courage to ask this? Has any auditor asked the top boss, what are your learnings of last 1 year of implementation? Probably not. And the reason they say it's hardly half an hour the top management skills the time. How can we waste that time? We need to get the audit trail, so we are focused. I fully agree. You can be safely excused because you go for sampling audit. But are the business owner excused for that? Probably not. In 1996, pretty early, the term continuous got converted into continual because there was a logic. We all are human beings and we cannot have a continuous transition. There's going to be a teething effects to start with and saturation over a time. So there is always an S curve. There is never a straight line for continuous. So they use the word continual. You have to overcome that sagging barriers. There's no choice. But when you go up and look, there is a saturation. Don't spend and waste your time. Allow it to stabilize and take up a new point. Challenges are many. Don't worry. In your industry, you will always find multiple challenges and multiple opportunities for improvement. So go ahead. Go step by step. Use a system as a stabilizing phase and improvise perpetually. That's a great pleasure having a proper system design and a proper effective implementation. In fact, the clause 10 of every standard, because of the HLS, higher level integration, talks about continual improvement. But it is not very explicitly referring to the cultural shift. In 45001, the word comes very explicit. But other standards are pretty silent on it. And hence, most of them, by them I mean not only the implementer consultants, top management, but even auditors, are happy to see the records for the non-conformities, correction, and corrective action. Maybe rarely the trained analysis based on the MRM. Very rarely, very exceptionally. So that improvement derived out of the C followed C driving the A, that link, if it remains a weak link, obviously your PDCA is handicapped. You are not getting the intended improvement, right? And when you don't get it, the reason is your system is either not suitable, not adequate, or not effective, or not aligned with your strategic directions. If it is not suitable, which is not fit to be used, it will remain with the MR only for the auditors. If it is not adequate, people will not follow it because anything which is not clear and complete, nobody will follow it. And if it is effective, we definitely can not own it because it is not meant for it. So it's a time that the top bosses look into the system alignment, effectiveness, suitability, and adequacy through the channel of clause 9, management review. The performance followed by the legal compliance, followed by the internal audit, and then the reviews. Definitely this powerful 9, that is the checking part with the top management involvement, can yield the whole horizon of improvement opportunities, which otherwise remain under the carpet. So the most powerful intent of improvement of this PDCA gets bypassed or remains under the carpet. So if you really want a system to yield you the better results, the business growth, align the system with the strategies, integrate it with the business processes, and these are the words used in the standard as it is. I'm just using them to remind you. Review the timely effectiveness, and just don't prepare the record for the auditors for the heck of it, for the heck of certification. The proper planning of system goals, direction, policy alignment with strategy is a top management responsibility. And if it is not being done, auditors should get back to them. There is something called system designer who come together and develop the system. They have to look into the adequacy. And when it comes to suitability, which is nothing but acceptability, it is every individual's responsibility. If they find it is not suitable, they have to get back and say, hey, I can't use it. Tell me what is the right way of doing it. But none of them are serious about it. Probably they have not heard these terms. Apparently, the system doesn't yield them the results that they wanted and they feel it is meaningless. We have to identify what is the meaningful linkage. The verification validation, which is coming out of clause 9 and 10, if it remains a missing link, you cannot claim your improvements, that is PDCA effective. I have seen most of these auditees cribbing that don't give us NCs and my boss will take adverse action and whatever. And then I have to educate them that no NC or zero NC status is not a great achievement. K nor W, no NC is what is the intent of this whole system. If you know what went wrong or what is to be improvised, definitely you're going to get the better results. So if you interact with the system designer or the top management or even the down shop floor employees, that what is the improvement that you have achieved over a system implementation? And I doubt whether they have anything to show. Okay, we are very good in statistics or we are very good in presentation, so we'll show the reducing NC trends, but I don't believe the NCs are reducing, your system is effective. It can also mean that your auditors are not competitive. They're not able to capture the gaps. It can also mean they're diplomatic enough to convert the NC into observation. And I still remember talking with my fellow colleagues that why these people do like this. And then I'm told that, you know, the old IRCA exam pattern, the section 4, where we have to identify the scenario, whether NC or observation. It is a very clear-cut marking pattern. Our tutor used to also tell us, if you write an NC when there is no NC, we'll get a 0 mark. But if it is an NC and you write an observation, which is a safe goal, you'll get 70% mark, which is a passing marks. So you are consciously warned that don't go for NC, go for observation. That is the way to pass the exam. Thank God the new pattern doesn't have this logic. The idea here was to give the benefit of doubt to auditee. But no benefit of doubt or the doubtful situation can lead to a concrete decision and improvement actions. So obviously, if you're trying to give them a soft hand holding, the top management is going to be out of this goal because they don't see any their interest in this whole process. The bottom line is, as it is, burden because of the documentation you demand. And the system remains disowned by anybody. It remains only for the auditors and the system designer or the MRs. Is this the same scenario you guys have been experienced during your implementation or certification or subsequent follow-up audits? Pranjali, can we have a quick chat open for the people to respond? I'd love to see the response from the team.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah. I want the opinion just to be sure that you guys have experienced the similar thing.
Yeah, chat is open for all.
Please give your opinion. We'll hang on for 2-3 minutes to have your opinions. Any chat messages, Pranjali?
Not yet.
That clearly shows the engagements. They don't want to agree, disagree, or even put it no comments. Guys, please participate. I don't want it to be my opinion. I want to come to a conclusion with a team opinion.
Madam, whatever you have briefed, you are 100% correct. As an auditor, we have faced the same thing, what you have just told.
Sir, may I know your name, please?
My name is LP Gupta from Nepal, Kathmandu.
Very good. Mr. Gupta, thank you for ascertaining and accepting the fact.
Welcome. Thanks.
Anybody else want to differ? And I'll be more than happy if somebody challenging these opinions. Nilesh, you remember? You have played dual role, the auditee as well as auditor. Mr. Nilesh Gura, are you there? Mrs. Salunkia, you have been the auditee also at times. So you want to reserve your comments, right? Don't worry, I won't remember your names. Okay, thanks, Mr. LP. And let us go further because I can see that people are trying to reserve these comments, and generally this happens. Auditor has got, sorry.
Madam, generally it happens that is the top management does not take part in preparing the objectives or
Absolutely.
policies.
It is consultant's business.
It's consultant business. This is the main problem.
Yes. So obviously the management review is for the heck of it without knowing what is planned, how they are going to review it.
Yeah.
So this becomes a real challenge and the whole PDC here gets sabotaged.
Yeah, 100% right.
And there is no written requirement, there is no documentation. So as an auditor, we are equally handicapped. We cannot raise an incident.
Yeah.
So the whole system remains a paper exercise. And then somebody says, the top bosses, if they're saying that I don't believe in ISO, they're justified in their way.
Yeah.
But the fact still remains. You don't believe in Newton's law doesn't mean you jump from the 5th floor, you'll still remain floating.
Yeah. Right.
You understand what is your ignorance, correct it, and then start giving a comment whether you believe it or not. That is the whole idea.
Yeah.
But very few auditors have this courage to tell them upfront. So you have to do an introspection. That was the whole idea when Pranjali asked me, will you like to share some thoughts? I said, yes. It's a time, if you permit me, I'll share my own views. And of course, it is not only critiquing and talking what went wrong. Now, working together, what better can be done. The idea is when we know what is a problem, we always know what could be the solution. And with such an August gathering, I'm sure we can come out with some good solutions.
Yeah.
There are some familiar names, there are some unknown names, but still, if we can get connected together, We all can do a great thing. So what
Yeah.
I would do, I want volunteers to change this drive. So I'm going to put my email ID in the chat message along with my WhatsApp thing. And guys, you please get connected so that we should make some difference, whether it is India, whether it is Nepal or otherwise. Is that acceptable to you all?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Makes sense. Good. So I've just shared my mail ID and my WhatsApp also I'm putting. My other number is also, I'll be more than happy to get associated with all of the co-professional to make a difference. Because if we are having our own limitations,
Yeah.
we together can brainstorm and come out from the scenario. We are equally accountable and answerable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So guys, take 2 minutes. Your chat messages are on. Please start sharing and getting connected. And Pranjali, thanks for giving us this platform to come together and find the answers together. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So hopefully those of you who are really on mobile or otherwise with some other assignments may have a challenge. But LP, you can give your contact details.
Okay.
Where
I'm
in Nepal you are located?
in Kathmandu, proper Kathmandu.
Oh, the capital.
Yeah, capital. Uh, the situation in Nepal is about taking part in a management review meeting from the top management or the owner of the industry. Very less, very less.
I've seen even policy not signed by these guys. They don't get a
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Most of the so when you go there and you ask, okay, where is your policy, where is your objectives, where is the management review meetings, and you have done it. So now they will say, sir, I am just collecting the view of the management, and then I will make the management review meeting attendance and everything. So yeah, so
So the
yeah.
review is nothing but a paper called attendance.
Paper, it's only paperwork. This happens always.
Unfortunately, Mr. LP, can you access the chat because I'm not able to see the chat.
Okay, I'm writing my
Contact details, right?
yeah. Let me write my email and
I can see
my
Mr. Menon has said noted, but then Mr. Menon, if you want to get connected, put your chat contact details as well. Menon, what's your background?
my
Yeah, the other gentleman who
IT,
reacted.
information technology,
Alright.
ISMS.
But in ISMS, you are also doing ITSMS, and I mean, being an IT, you are also doing ITSMS and VAPT and
Yes,
BCMS.
yeah.
You're Pune based or you're India
No,
based?
Bangalore, madam.
You're Bangalore based. Yeah, Menon. Okay. Fair enough. We can get connected, absolutely. And we can see how best. Is it the same scenario? Because whenever I'm moving around, it could be my limitations and my clients' exposures. But you want to opine something on this? Our software is little virgin and a better field? Thank you, Mr. Menon.
madam, I have also sent my mail and my
Yes, I've seen that. Mr.
Yeah.
LP Gupta, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta.
Welcome. Thanks.
All right, team. So I think most of us enjoy the same perceptions and the same opinions.
Yeah. I hope.
Most of us should come together to make a difference. We have to educate first the people that zero NC status is not a great deal. It only means a false perception of a great system. Let's not fool ourselves. Let us focus on
Yeah.
system effectiveness, because zero NC can also mean the auditors are not competent to raise or they are under pressure not to put the NCs on paper.
There is also one problem here in Kathmandu or in Nepal, whole Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
If you raise the NC, the MR will ask you that, sir, please don't do it. I either make it AFI or say leave it, I will close it, whatever you are raising it. But
Absolutely.
we don't want to let it know by the top management or the owner. If they will come to know, they will take the action against me.
Absolutely. So it becomes the MR's business and not the top boss business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only thing is to manage the auditors for the
Auditors, yeah.
the perception need to be re-looked into. And thing
Yeah.
is possible provided the top boss has a time to look into it.
Look at it.
I don't know. In this meeting, can I just ask one more question? How many of you are business owners? Can you raise your hands? Unfortunately, business owners don't have time for such things.
Don't
They
take part this.
feel, yeah, they feel the system is the responsibility of the MR or the auditors, or both of them managing it mutually.
Yeah.
So that is the most unfortunate fact perceived, no matter whatever is a standard. And it's time that we look back, we
Yeah.
get back and start getting connected more powerfully. With
Yeah.
this such
Right.
August gathering and the platforms like ICS, we can definitely do it. That is the ray of hope I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm getting into these settlements where I know it can get into a lot of controversy.
Controversy. Right.
So please make it very clear as an auditor, if you see a no NC status, please tell them that you're refusing the opportunity for improvement. You're refusing the whole PDCA intent. So if you want, it is your choice that I'll talk with your top boss. That this is not a failure, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So never convert an NC into an observation. Tell them very clearly that you have full right to raise an appeal or a complaint against me.
Right.
But that needs a lot of courage. It can challenge your business intentions. You may get a call from certifying body saying, please, you can't be so rude. It's a major client. So there can be a pressure on you not to raise an NC even from CB along with audit.
Yeah. That's also one of the problem.
But then if you remember, the first principle of auditing talks about integrity, ethicality. If others don't respect your signature, at least you should respect your signature. And somewhere you say that, fine, I appreciate. I'll give you these findings. You call it anything, you call it as an NC observation or otherwise. I'm willing to spend a little extra time to know how you closed it. And if there is no improvement evident, probably I won't get into this audit again. Let somebody else who is business minded do it, but not me. I don't know whether you respect me, but I respect my own signature. So if you take such a strong stand, non-compromising attitude for the ethics, probably you can make a difference. And if you can do that, well, you will be the single light which will enlighten the darkness around. Instead of saying it is all dark, let's start lighting the lamps. And people coming together will force the top boss to have a strategic alignment, to understand it is their business. It is none of the auditor's business or the MR's business.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way that they can hear you. I remember during a COVID, there was a story told, very common viral story, that there was a huge posh car going around and somebody hit it. And that fellow stopped and asked, what happened? Why did you do that? That fellow said that I have been requesting for a lift because my sister has met with an accident and we have to rush to the hospital. Nobody stopped. And that's why I'm forced to damage your car so that you will stop. So there's an immediate attention required. If you're not paying an attention, I'll be forceful to you. And that is a message that probably we all need to do it. It can mean a damage, it can mean a dent, it can mean a very unpleasant interaction. But it is essential. Time has come that we should look back and say, after 40 years, if you are not getting a maturity, then something is really wrong. Right? So get out of this and start making the top management aware about their commitment and the responsibility they own or they enjoy. Take this PDCA seriously. Only plan and do or only do, that is on paper exercise, is not going to give you the yield or the powerful intent the system enjoys. See to it. The management is involved, the top boss is involved in the MRM, is well aware of the learnings in the whole process, and is getting reflected in the planning and the objective setting. If that act and plan, they are not interlinked, it is meaningless. If the do and check, that is the internal auditor's role and the executor's role, if it is not linked, it is meaningless. Ideally, everything has to be interlinked. But these are the two powerful links where I see the gaps invariably during the audit, and it's time that you go back and start making them aware this is not acceptable gap. It is not to be worked in isolation. So let us all build the courage together and say that, hey, if you want the results, follow this. If not, you'll also get a certificate. No big deal about certificate. So auditors can definitely add a value. We all are taught during our training that we act as a mirror. We are not going to give any consultancy. We should not be getting into any knowledge sharing. We are not the trainers. But we learn a lot in the whole process. We go around, we see the different industries, we see the different setups. So we can add a value through an improvement opportunity by sharing good practices. That makes a big difference. The auditee will respect you and will not spend time in arguing with you. They will really, really be happy to learn from you. However, the implementer's intent matter a lot. If they are going to use an NC to crucify somebody, then please don't. That's a high risk. If the top boss says if there is an NC, the MR should be crucified, then it's not acceptable. Then don't give an NC first, dedicate the top boss. You have to really balance the intent and implementation. And unless the intent is corrected, you cannot correct the implementation standalone or isolated. As an auditor, we have very limitation, but as a consultant, as a trainer, we have a whole big horizon. And believe me, we cannot do it alone. It has to be a team effort. Such an august gathering, such a leading agency can take it up. On 19, I'm addressing All India CA gathering, and we are talking about again system because system is my passion. So those of you who are interested, because CAs were the first community which started talking about the audits and improvisation. And more or less, we are fairly established auditing practices with CAs. But at the same time, CAs are also known to be dwindling the data. So it's a time to look at, are we following that footsteps? And if it's the case, let us have a distinct pathway, a pathway that will lead to improvisation and not compromisation.
Right.
We are responsible equally for their business. If you have that engagement, if you have that commitment, then continual improvement will come automatically. Then you will not compromise giving an NC. And tell them, educate them, how the best it will add the value to their business. See, I'll tell you, if you're raising an NC that there is no sign and date, it is called as a nitpicking. Nobody will enjoy such NCs and they'll say, mat likho yaar, main abhi dal deta hu date. But if you are trying to give an NC which will really add value to the business, they'll be more than happy to raise that NC, accept that NC. So to raise such a meaningful, powerful NCs, you should have a clear-cut intent of the standard and the exposure about the So your role as a continual improvement trigger plays a major role. We are not the inspector or a stamp. We are an auditor, which is a respectable community. And if you won't do that job, probably we are to be blamed if the system is perfect. So set a trigger. Action will initiate. Understand. If they're not understanding, make them understand. And get it executed. Because the audit cycle, as they called it, PER, planning, execution, reporting, and closeout. That closeout is still an auditor's responsibility. So if they are giving you some fake records, simply don't accept it to close out. You may have to be adamant on certain points. In fact, if you look at the personal attribute, clause 722 of 19011, it has a very clear-cut requirement that working with fortitude. And that working with fortitude means having the warrior spirit, not compromising for the small little popularity that can be gained by not compromising or not being truthful, right? So we as an auditor, we as a consultant, we as a trainer, start lighting the lamps, and the darkness will definitely start dimming down. We have to be knowledgeable. We have to put in every efforts to get the top management involved and make the team feel that your presence makes the difference to the system.
Yeah.
You can lead to improvisation, and then improvisation will come automatically. By automatically, I mean but through your efforts that you're putting in. Nobody else has to worry on it. So please see to it, you drag in the top boss, you drag in the employees, and the picture is going to be entirely different. Otherwise, there will be two systems. One for audits, just to show the auditors everything spick and span, and one otherwise.
Yeah.
It doesn't add any value. It is a wasteful effort. Don't ever get into such problematic exercise being seconded or accepted by you. Straight away start saying that I want to see the real system and not for auditor system. Don't do anything for me. Maybe tomorrow or today evening, I may not be coming again after today evening. So don't do anything for me. It's your business. Focus it, treat it as your business. So make them aware they own this responsibility. So while touching the golden jubilee of system certification, because 15 years are coming very nearby. First certification was done in 1987. Time has come that we really look back. And unfortunately, I mean, in India, at least I've been working on the various Bureau of Indian Standard technical committees and the standard committee and that Quality Council of India, which is an apex body and accreditation body. When we have been interacting, I was told we need to have two more systems because ISO has lost its entity. How ISO can lost its entity? It is still active everywhere. No, everywhere it is the same place. Nobody is bothered about the system. If that is the case, adding two more systems, what way it will add the value? So it is like saying that this guy is not good for anything, so let him be in the quality because quality में कुछ काम नहीं रहता है. If he's not good for anything, how can he be good for quality? Please understand. काम रहता है, काम नहीं रहता है, बात अलग है. But then this thought philosophy we have to change. The two new systems which Quality Council has launched, one is Z, Zero Defect, Zero Effect. In the inaugural session, while referring to ICS, they have talked about this Z certification. And the second is Lean. That is based on Toyota Management System certification. I have been working on these fields very closely and I realize there is a lot of introspection required. Instead of talking about what went wrong or how the things can be further improvised, I truly feel let's go back, understand, is there any scope for us to change? Is there any way to improvise the scenario? And if yes, let's do our bit. There's every chance that people will not trust us, respect us, or otherwise. But at least having that courage to say that we need to change matters a lot. So I'm going to again leave this forum in the chat. Yeah, I can see Mr. Zar. I can see Mr. Menon also coming back. You have converted the practical. Same is faced by industries. Yes. Yes, climate change implementation at all departments, awareness session to be planned. This is for Pranjali or this is for me, Mr. Sharma? Sorry, Mr. Zha? It is a request to ICS MD, sir. Okay, fine. It is meant for Pranjali. Pranjali, will you pass it on to Mr.
Yes,
Kataria?
noted, yes.
Yes, yeah, climate change is another challenge coming up, and February 2024 it got revised, but still, I don't know how.
Hope so. It will published in 2026 by the end of December.
Yeah, but I
9,000.
think, all of us, the consultant, auditors,
Yeah.
trainers should come together with a common platform, with a common thing.
Yeah.
If there is no common thing possible, at least with our customers, we should start giving this message loud and clear
Yeah.
that this is our business. Our business to make you aware that you should mind your business.
Yeah.
Right? So definitely we will touch on these things. And when it comes to system implementation, in March, we are expecting a revision in 9,000 as well as 14,000. And they're all in 14,000 talking about sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about a cultural shift. So this is going to be more challenging for the auditors to evaluate it. And every time when it is more challenging, people find a shortcuts. That is an anticipated threat.
Mm-hmm.
So it is all the more reason why people like us who want to make a change should come together and make a change. Right? So that's the main reason I was trying to see how best we can get connected and how best we can get a forum to make a change. After the introspection, I know for sure within that 1.5 hours interval, I can expect you all to come out with the answers. But whatever wide thinking answers I thought of, I'm sharing with you. You may agree, don't agree. Some of my customers, some of my colleagues are here. As I said, Nilesh has been working with me in both the roles, customer as well as my colleague. I can see Mr. Salunke and some of the other names also, which are known to me. So when I'm doing a public announcement on a meeting which is getting recorded, you have full right to ask me, ma'am, you said it. So how about adding that value to our business now? Right? So it's my commitment that I will be contributing it. And if you feel I'm not contributing it, you have full right to challenge me. At the same time, my remaining colleagues also please get connected and let's start our bit so that we can contribute to the system improvisation. Because that is what is the first principle of auditing. And principles cannot be altered, compromised, or changed. Policies can be edited. Principles remain as a non-compromisable fact. So if you want to be in the respected field as an auditor, as a trainer, or as a consultant, we cannot compromise with ethicality and integrity. So let us take a bold step here on and make a difference, especially on the verge or on the eve when the standard is getting revised. Or if you allow me to say, Gudi Padwa is just knocking next door. So let's start afresh. It's a new year for us. And as it is, the standard is also getting revised. So let's have a new fresh start beginning for the whole thing. Whatever we did till now, it's okay. That was our past. But let's make the present more bright, sensible, and otherwise. If you all are ready, we can make a change.
Sure.
Right? So please let us pass a message. System is for you. You are not there for the system. System should facilitate your business. System is not for certification. It is not a trophy to be displayed on the wall as a wall piece and fetch the business. The foundation and fundamentals, if they're clear, it becomes a way of life. And that simple word in the standard, established system is, it is in your DNA. No matter whatever you do, it will be that way. Like in defense. Yeah? They are so grilled into it that they walk in the same way, even if they're in the civil society. So the system should be that way. Nobody should ever think of compromising or bypassing it. Documentation to the extent required. 2015, we had a long chat with the chairman of the technical committee TC176. Mr. Kataria was also there. And even prior to that, when the system got revised, we were representing India and we have interacted with the chairman. And he confirmed. We have totally deleting the documentation because it can be diluting it. We don't want people to just have a system on paper. We want it to the need driven, where evidence is mandated. It is only to the extent required. What we are focusing on is an improvement, the results. But unfortunately, such discussion remains in the closed wall of technical committee TC176 or on the website of ISO website. it doesn't reach to the implementers. And why it doesn't reach to the implementers? There is a community called consultant. They want to generate some papers and show that they have done a great job. It's easy to prepare a paper than to change a mindset, right? So they generate a paper and get them certified. That is something that we have to look back when you go as a consultant. You have to look back that the improvement intent is loud and clear, conveyed wherever we go and in whatever role we go. So let's aim to be better, leaner. Failure is very difficult. So let us not wait till it comes and bounce back on us. Take it up to correct it. Now that we have realized, we are talking about PDCA. When we have realized there is a mistake, we need to correct it. We have to be better. We have to be leaner. Remove the unwanted things. Improve the PQCD ME, productivity, quality, cost, delivery. If you allow me to say, even the morale. And of course, the environment, the business environment, the work environment, the overall environment. Well, unless we aim at this, nothing fruitful will come. And if you're going there just for the sake of money, you are compromising. If you're going there for a change agent, for cultural shift, probably there is every chance you may not be very successful, but still you have done your task. And I think that's all we should aim at. So let us understand the internal dynamics, the external issues, the needs and expectations, the risks and opportunities. Do a proper SWOT. We need to have a proper SWOT developed. We have to go for a better and better options available. If you all come together, do the brainstorming, I'm sure we'll come out with brilliant ideas to have this cultural shift, to have a betterment with the most respected tool called system, with the most powerful intent of this tool called improvisation. And if we can achieve that continual improvement in the system effectiveness itself, is going to give a good dividend for the business improvisation. And that's a minimum thing I expect you to do. Maybe as a learner, maybe as an auditor, maybe as a consultant, maybe as a trainer, whatever role you enjoy, whatever cap you wear, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of formality. But have that clear intents, have that clear commitment, and make the difference. Otherwise, there'll be again company getting certified. See, you can get certified without a system. But system cannot be established without improvement. Have that clarity established, right? So start the introspection. Let us spend some time together, not only for that one monologue that I'll be speaking, you're all listening, or only the chat option. Let's together make a difference. Let's brainstorm on the intent of the system. To me, the intent of the system is continual improvement, nothing beyond, nothing less. And improvise implementation. Develop a culture. Develop a mindset shift. Make the top management aware it is your business. System is definitely not for the auditors or for the MR. It's for you to have your business facilitated, made it easy to do. It's not to bother you or to stop you from the business being implemented. Right? So be serious. Be transparent. Establish clear direction through the policy, through the objectives. You should have, even the top boss should have a courage at the end of the day to the auditor to be asked, what value you have added to my thing when I paid you X amount? And if the auditor has no answer, other than the certificate, which is issued by the certifying body, something is definitely wrong. So, handling the deviation should start immediately. But to start that, we should know what is a deviation. We should go to the basic root causes to track the system improvisation opportunities. No auditor should accept a compromise corrective action. In fact, if anything has gone wrong, the so-called NC, we need to sit together and brainstorm for the immediate causes. There'll be many probabilities. For each immediate cause, there can be a basic cause. Why this is happening? Probably the top management is losing interest. Why the top management is losing interest? Because they're not getting any return or the benefits in the whole process. Why they're not getting any return? Because there can be a substandard act or substandard conditions. Substandard act by ABC, conditions by ABC. I don't want to name them. But of course, if you're doing a true brainstorming, we are going to look into it. Why? There is no control set. Being a forum or a member of different forums, we all pin down to it. The regulators are not doing their role. If they start tightening the auditors or the certifying body or the accreditation body, things will change. So controls are not followed. Why controls are not followed? Because the systems are not defined, or defined but not followed. How do you expect an inspector to guarantee a quality? It's a producer's job to ensure the quality. Inspector is just giving you a stamp of go or no go. So system not followed is not a certifying body or the auditor's mistake. It's very much your mistake. Stop the blame game. Start owning the responsibility. The minute you own the responsibility, commitment is obvious. You cannot be responsible without having a commitment. When you have a commitment, you have that accountability. Otherwise, chalta hai approach is there. You can buy, you can manipulate, you can adjust, you can do everything but responsibility acceptance. So if you don't follow this trail, you will be just manipulating. We want people to manage the system and not to manipulate the system. Every deviation in this case will trigger to blame game or don't care. We need to have this to result into improvisation opportunity. So if you can get this, yes, we are on the right track. Sorry, somebody's saying something? Am I audible?
Sure, you are very much audible.
Okay, so there was no say. I thought somebody was trying to add some value, but it's okay. Guys, I don't want it to be a monologue. I want a commitment of this team who are participating. And I want you all to be a change agent after this 1.5 hours investment of your time, so that we can together make a difference.
Mm.
All of us are familiar with the 4 T's. The changes or the control mechanisms that you use for continual improvement. First and the foremost has to be a technology, because human memories and habits have limitations. If no such technology is available and feasible or affordable, you can go for engineering controls. The creative, innovative engineering minds have no limits. But supposingly you don't have that mindset, you can go for admin controls. All your systems, that is the paper exercise, the do's, don'ts, training records, entry controls are part of administrative control. And I'm afraid our systems are progressing only up to this level. Or ultimately we are getting into a transfer. It is the auditor's mistake or the MR's mistake, or it is XYZ's mistake. Let's not transfer for the mistakes. Let's transfer for the expertise that we seek to correct the scenario. And I'm open and upfront telling on the public platform, if you feel you want to change, we are all ready to participate with you, not as a business, but for the cause. So ultimately, we own that responsibility, provided you own your business, provided you are willing to change, and you're willing to adopt the continual improvement for the system. If you want to stop chalta hai and only a certificate as a wallpaper, Well, it is too costly. Even 3,000 is too big. You can get much better wallpapers at 3,000 rupees, right? Don't use it as a blame game, saying that X went wrong, Y will come. Guys, any issue?
No.
Okay, fine. So let's get out of that chata hai approach or a blame game or being reactive what went wrong. Let's together as a system volunteers put our heads and heart together to improvise the system. Not because we are being regulated, not because we are being audited, not because somebody will give us a medal, certificate, or a trophy. We are coming together for a regenerative culture to make our business and our clients' business easy, to make a big difference in this whole developing country, which is working for Viksit Bharat 2047. We should contribute our bit to make a difference. And no matter the country level, it can be at the world level. We should go beyond it because India has always led that torch of knowledge, torch of light. I remember when I was working as a sustainability committee member for Bureau of Indian Standard. That's the first standard being developed, and our chairman was very clear. We should not stand it to be a stop at it being a BI standard. We'd like to take it up for the whole rest of the world. And we are also working on the protocols, how we can make it as a world global standard. So if you do it for our country, prove, validate it, that thought process can progress all across the globe. And that is the whole idea. In spite of saying that system is losing the entity, let's go back to the fundamentals, understand all the 7 principles which generally used for QMS, but is equally applicable to all systems. And educate the stakeholders to introspect and help them in non-compromising attitude for the betterment. You cannot compromise on the customer focus. You cannot compromise on the leadership and commitment. If somebody is saying that I don't have a time, then they say, better don't have a system, better don't have a certificate. I'll come some other time when you have a time, right? If the employees are not getting engaged, again, it's time to go back and ask them what is the issue. If they're not having a process or logical approach, you have to educate them. These are the prerequisites for continual improvement. And if you have an improvement, it will be reflected in the continuous decision, evidence-based decision making, and the relationship manager. The suppliers will love to be with you. These principles work, provided you want them to work. If you want to say that I tried it, there was X problem, and so it didn't work. So failure is equal to the efforts plus excuse. This equation doesn't work. It doesn't work in the sense it doesn't give you the result which is expected. So team, all of us, in a small way, whatever we want to do, let's meticulously understand the requirement of clause 10.2, which talks about a deviation handling, follow the PDCA in the real intent. Let's know what are the improvement opportunities than using it as a point to be blamed. It needs a competent auditors, we should not get into nitpicking. We should be able to add values. We should be able to make them that by our presence, your business is going to grow. We should act as a knowledge hub. A dedicated auditee with the top management commitment can change the ballgame, but we can set the trigger to get dedicated and get them committed. So indeed, a dynamic, self-evolving, aligned system. The system developer as well as reviewer can be triggered off with your proper value-added audits or as a consultancy or as a training. If you're ready for these changes, well, we are ready for the continual improvement through the system. Of course, let's not say it is late. It's never too late. I'm sure all of us can stand and start where we are. Yeah? the great knowledge that Bhagwan Krishna has given to Partha. Wherever you start, the words used in Gita are api sudurachari. Somebody who is not very good, even the worst possible character one has, sadhureva manyate. If you start continual improvement, he will become a most pious man on the earth. So we don't know at what condition of system deterioration we are. If you want improvement, we will achieve improvement. So wish you all the very best to this never-ending goal of improvisation. Right from my bottom of heart, let me wish you all the very best. And thank you for your time and indeed for your contribution. Yes, Mr. Kirk, unmute yourself. We are going to leave this forum open. Please unmute yourself. I didn't see the messages. Sorry for that. Those of you, Pranjali, can we open this forum so that those of you who have questions can raise their hand? And I can see Mr. Jonathan Kirk asking twice he sent the message. And Daston's iPad says nigger. What does it mean? Hello, I've seen so many messages coming out with nigger from him. Daston and Kirk, please unmute and ask whatever are your issues. Am I audible? Pranjali, have you unmuted?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Are you there, Mr. Daston? We generally say it's a technical glitch.
इतना लिख रहा है, छोटा लिख के भेजिए ना.
Mr. Jonathan Kirk, are you there? Is he unmuted, Pranjali? I'm sorry, looks like Pranjali is having an issue or I'm having an issue. Guys, you all can hear me, right? Yeah, Pranjali says it can be heard. Fair enough. So looks like we can make a difference if we come together, and LP has accepted it. So remaining team members, if you have any questions, the forum will be open. Otherwise, we'll be concluding for the day. Right, Miss Pranjali?
What, ma'am? Sorry.
I was saying there were some messages in the group, Datsun and Kirk, saying that मुझे एक सवाल है, आप कृपा करके unmute कीजिए.
1 second.
Jonathan, Kirk, and Datsun.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself now.
No, I mean, Mr. Kirk, are you there? Or he has left because we didn't answer him?
Yeah.
Looks like he has left. And Mr. Datsun?
Kindly ignore, ma'am, please.
Huh?
You ignore that.
Yeah, both of them left because we have not responded to their query. But
They
doesn't
are
matter. I
offline,
mean, I
ma'am.
didn't
They
see
are
the
offline.
message.
They're offline.
Yeah, so I think I'm done with my presentation. If anybody has any questions, we can interact. Because LP has just shared that he'll be leaving for some other function.
Ma'am, you have taken these details previously, which are mentioned in the chat box. LP sirs and Menon sirs details.
You can share it to me, no? You will get this
Okay, I'll share
recorded,
it to
so
you
you please
later.
share it to me.
Yeah, I'll share.
And I'll be more than obliged if you can share it. है ना?
Yeah, I'll share. So,
Madam, I have one question.
Go ahead, please.
Uh, if sometimes what happens during audit, 2-day audit or some 2-day audit or a 3-day audit, if something is not in place, say if the risks are not in place, and then they modify it on the 3rd day, is that a correct practice?
Never, never, never.
Yeah.
This is shortcut because they want a certificate. You have to tell them like this is okay as far as getting a certificate, but this is not acceptable because we need to see the effectiveness of the action you have taken. And you cannot check the effectiveness overnight or over 2 days, right?
Yes, yes.
So the whole intent you're trying to bypass, you have to educate them, because if you do this, you're compromising. It's like saying that I'm very hungry, so let me have it for next 2 days as well. You cannot have it for 2 days, right? You
Right.
eat properly for the day today, and for tomorrow again you're going to become hungry, so use it that time. You have to educate these people and don't discourage them. I mean, see, one of the major attribute is being diplomatic. You have to be diplomatic, but at the same time, you're not going to be compromising by being diplomatic.
Right. Thanks.
Welcome. My focus was indeed not only for auditors, but I could see most of you are from auditing field, so my focus was more examples in auditing. But maybe even a consultant have these limitations. I was working as a consultant in one of the organization, and their MR told, "देखो अगले साल तो मैं retire हो रहा हूँ." तो बिटिया, I mean that time I was young, so they said, "बिटिया, ये मेरे लिए आप मैनेजमेंट को मत बताना. मैं रिटायरमेंट होने के बाद को जो भी करना है कर दो." Which means I'm going to get retired next year. So after I'm retired, you do whatever improvisation you want to do, not now. So how would you react? Very challenging scenario, right? Unfortunately, that NC is linked to somebody's career, which is a wrong practice. It should be linked to your business improvisation. If you can bring that culture, you have achieved the whole ballgame. Otherwise, the system has lost its intent. You are delinking the PDCA. You're just playing with DDD, not CNA. So you have to make them aware. This means a very powerful tool of improvisation, which you're underutilizing. It's like a diamond putting as a pepper weight. The peppers won't fly definitely because diamond has a weight. But that weight, high weight diamond should be used as a diamond, not as a pepper weight, right? You will get a certificate, but certificate is not going to add a value. That improvisation is going to add the value to your business. So let's segment the improvisation than the certification. Certificate also will come here. I mean, that's the business of certifying agencies. They'll be all eager to give you a certificate. Let's be very honest. But as an auditor, as a trainer, as a consultant, our goal should be improvisation. If we start compromising for the small quick returns, we have to be blamed, isn't it? Well, Mr. Zha, you want to say something? Do you have an auditor's background or you have a implementer's background?
Everyone kindly unmute yourselves and ask questions.
मैडम ने सर दिए because
Right.
3 people entered in the waiting room, Pranjali. Can we admit them?
Don't take them, ma.
Okay.
They're the outsiders. Don't take them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, how do you go about it? If there are no questions, either you fully understood what I wanted to say, or you are given up that nothing can be further discussed. Either way, I'm okay. Because this is a topic which I never wanted an immediate reaction. I wanted a reaction which will be long lasting. some deliberation, some thinking should add the value. I've shared my contact details. If you wish, you need to get connected. Please get connected. You're most welcome. And together we can make a difference. This is my strong feeling. And let's, with that happy tune, with a positive hope, conclude this meeting. Pranjali, if you have any points to add, please go ahead. Mr. Anil Kumar Bhaduri, please unmute and speak. You are allowed to speak. No need to raise a hand. Mr. Anil Kumar, can you hear me?
Anit, so you can unmute yourselves. So I see there
Am
is
I
no
audible?
questions.
Yes, go
Yes,
ahead. Go
yes,
ahead,
you're
Mr.
audible,
Anil.
sir.
Madam, I have heard the word Kaizen as per the Japanese practice in the automobile industries. And this ISO system is also there. Is there any difference between the two?
No way.
No
Kaizen
way,
is
no?
Kai means small, Zen means improvement. Kaizen
Oh,
is a small improvement achieved through employee participation, recognition, rewards. So if you can get employees engaged in participating the existing practices, that is nothing but a PDCA being implemented effectively. So the jargon, if you use that Kaizen, is are different words and they can be used as a Japanese lean technique. But if you ask me, it is the intent of system implementation. If you have a strong Kaizen system implemented, your any other management system will also have a better results. Because what you're talking about is employees getting engaged. But unfortunately, we have a habit of putting the stamps and the labels. ISO doesn't have a word Kaizen explicitly, so Kaizen can be a different drive and ISO can be a different drive. And the bosses can be busy with their business drive. It's all integrated, isn't it?
yeah,
What do you see? Yeah, you have to make them aware that this is all built in each other. It cannot work without top commitment. It cannot work without employee engagement. And Kaizen is a very powerful tool for improvisation. In fact, when we do the lean implementation or Z implementation, we mandate that Kaizen should be there. A formal Kaizen scheme shall be launched.
Okay, yeah. Yes, thanks, madam. I had been an internal auditor for quality system, qualified auditor for 9001. And I like to be in touch with you sometime. I
Sure.
have shared my address also.
I have
And
jotted down. Yeah, I've taken a note of it.
thank you.
You can write to me anytime and I'm sure we can add value.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
My
thank you.
pleasure getting connected. Thank you, Pranjali. Seems to be a very wonderful gathering and people are positive. So we will take it up further.
So I see there is no questions anymore. So we are going ahead. Before that, on behalf of ICS, we sincerely thank Dr. Sanjeevani Gogawale ma'am for the insightful session on the continual improvement, a powerful intent of system implementation. We truly appreciate you taking the time to share your knowledge and valuable insight with us. Your session was inspiring and highly informative for all participants. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
My pleasure, dear. We'll remain connected. Shall we conclude?
Yeah. So
Thank
we are going ahead.
I'm leaving the session.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
ICS is placed to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, CMS, and OHSS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, Hindi. For reading any of the above books, please contact Ms. Sushma Kindlekar. Feedback form, please register on www.sadgunsam.org and go in your login and give feedback. I would also like to thank all our participants for their valuable time and active participation. We hope you found the session informative and useful. Have a nice day. We are officially closed today's session.